she thinks that many Muslims hate Jews because of Gaza.
Yeah, you twit.
My family, my grandfather's family, are from Lebanon. They are, if you look at...
My family is from Lebanon, therefore by default, I absorbed all the information and understanding of the deep history of the region. Don't you understand? So basically, we had Tweedledee and Tweedledum wanted to do a response video to Crystal Ball and Sagar. They obviously had a war criminal demon on their podcast, Benjamin Netanyahu, and they got a lot of heat for it. So they wanted to go ahead and make a video reacting to all of the backlash they got. In particular, they decided to pick a fight with Crystal Ball and Sagar. So I wanted to go ahead and watch this video response, see what kind of nonsense they came up with, and we had a lot of fun. So just let me know what you guys think about these two idiots in the comments, and we'll go from there.
Fresh off his blockbuster appearance with the Nelk Boys, Benjamin Netanyahu has now joined the gentlemen of Triggernometry for an appearance. Admittedly, I haven't had a chance. This came out last night, so I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing. Producer Griffin.
It doesn't.
You don't have to watch, excuse me, Jesus Christ. You don't have to watch the whole fucking thing to get an idea of what you twits were doing.
Do you know what? Maybe people have got a point about new media. I take it back.
Right, they do. By the way, I should say, the moment I saw this video, now, you know me, you will confirm this. Yeah. I never, ever get annoyed about people criticizing us. Ever. Right?
Except they're annoyed about it right now.
I'm like, you want to put your opinion out in public, or you want to be a public figure, or you want to do things in public, people are going to have an opinion. Yeah. I always give this example. Do you know who Steph Curry is?
Yes.
So Steph Curry, for people who don't know, is an amazing basketball player in the NBA, to the point where he's not just amazing, he's like one of those once-in-a-generation people who actually changed the game.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, he's a great guy, a great family man, a brilliant player, a brilliant teammate, and I fucking hate him. And I do, because he changed the game in a way that I don't like. Yeah. Right? I grew up in the Michael Jordan era, where people basically hardly ever shot three-pointers. Yeah. Steph Curry can shoot them from the halfway line, and it's changed the game entirely. And because of that, I think it's kind of boring.
I feel like this guy doesn't know a thing about basketball, but that's okay.
I don't like it as much. I hate this guy, who's, by all accounts, a great guy.
Yeah.
My point being, the moment you are in the public eye, people are going to have their opinions about you. They're going to like to hate you.
Okay, but you're criticizing him for shooting a basketball. People are criticizing you for legitimizing a war criminal. You what's another word for twits? My British people in the audience, what are some other words I can call Constantine?
Totally understand, and I have no problem with it. When I watched this video, I literally fucking exploded. I was like, how can you be so stupid? Their channel has the same number of subscribers as ours. Like, they've got a big YouTube channel, yes. And they look at them. Look at the way they've presented it. They purport to be journalists, yes. Right? And this is how they start this video. Admittedly, I haven't watched it, but
she said, I haven't watched the whole thing, you goddamn lunatic.
Producer has picked out a clip that totally misrepresents the interview. Let's talk about it.
I know. And the thing that I found, it's almost a satirical parody of new media.
Yeah.
Like, there's a comedian who I actually want to have on the show called Mark Maron, who is highly critical of new media. And to be fair, I think he makes a number of good points, and he's very funny about it. But this is like something like, this is like a sketch Mark would write. If the SNL did a sketch, this is the opening line. Now, I haven't seen this thing. I haven't seen this interview, but
these people are acting as if Crystal Ball and Sagar don't do, a tremendous amount of research and aren't pretty much spot on when they do their commentary. These guys are the actual, know-nothing like idiots that are out here, not Crystal and Sagar.
Listen to me make a half-an-hour video about it where I commented about it in depth.
Do you know, there's a very famous Soviet joke about this, where there was a poet called Brodsky who was, he was being prosecuted in Russia, in the Soviet Russia, for basically having the wrong opinion. And at his trial, one of the people said, I haven't listened to his poetry, but I'd just like to say. This is like, how are you? Anyway, let's see what opinions she has.
These guys are such dorks.
As having not watched the interview.
Yeah.
Producer Griffin pulled a couple clips that he thought were interesting. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this first one. This is Constantine saying basically, listen, I don't think there's any peace possible with these people in Gaza because they are quote unquote Jew haters. Let's take a listen.
I didn't say no peace is possible. I'm saying, how are you going to get to peace? As I said before, that's what a journalist is supposed to ask the Prime Minister of Israel. How are you planning to get peace when this is the reality?
No, and if you watch it again, I believe I remember the question he's referring to. Constantine asked him, he said, how are you going to even consider, allowing any kind of a solution with these people that absolutely hate you, or inferring that, no, you have to kick out the Palestinians. You have to get rid of them. You have to cleanse them. You have to do away with them because you're never going to get along with them. That was like his lead into the question. So whatever he's trying to do to spin it as something else is just completely dishonest.
On the ground. By the way, forgive me for calling the people who support Hamas overwhelmingly Jew haters. I mean, is that a contested claim?
I don't
understand what she's saying. Is she saying they're not Jew haters?
Yeah. I think if you want the river to the sea, Palestine to be free, which is the obliteration of the Israeli state, you are a Jew.
Has she not seen like clips of the education system in Gaza and videos on TV where they're literally teaching their children that Jews are like rats?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say, yeah, and let's take the word teaching and put indoctrinating there.
Has she not seen that? Has she not seen the polling from Gaza? Does she not know what Hamas actually stands for?
But this is the thing. This is people who comment about the Middle East who know nothing about the Middle East. It's why, and Douglas Murray got in trouble for this when he said the immortal words, "You've never been." But as somebody who has Lebanese heritage and talks to their Lebanese family, people don't understand that the way people think in that part of the world and the attitudes they have are very, very, very different from the attitudes people hold in the West.
Like, you can think that what Israel is doing is evil and wrong and terrible in every way and blah, blah, blah. But you can't deny that people in Gaza overwhelmingly hate Israel and Jews.
Yes.
That's not a contestable claim. That's just a statement of fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, it goes back to, and we've got this.
These guys are just literally sitting here having a conversation about a conversation that doesn't exist. This is embarrassing.
Interview coming out with Tom Holland, which is absolutely brilliant, where Tom talks about the fact that even if you're an atheist, even if you think to yourself that you are not Christian in any way, you have been raised into a society with Christian morals and values and a Christian outlook. That is the waters that you swim in. And so naturally, in our culture and our society, we think that everybody else is raised with Christian values and morals. And that is quite simply not the case.
Right.
And people don't seem to understand that. They seem to think, and this is the reason why we thought we could bring democracy to the Middle East, why we could go out and that people would all of a sudden want democracy and Western values. But that is a form of arrogance because we believe everyone thinks like us, but they don't, because they've been raised with a different value, a different culture, and a different religion.
They hate you, they hate Israel, and they hate Jews. How are you going to have a peaceful coexistence with those people?
Look, man, you goddamn fucking dense idiot. Palestinians, nobody inherently hates anybody. It's just like saying, it's just the same argument, like racism is stupid and wrong because just because somebody is, just black or white or Hispanic or whatever, it doesn't say anything about them. I mean, it doesn't make you better or worse or this or that or whatever. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't mean anything. Just like no population, no peoples, no human population inherently just wakes up or is born hating another population. You're making the argument that Palestinians inherently hate Jewish people and Israelis just because they're born that way. And that is fucking so stupid that I can't even finish the sentence. So let's continue.
Well, particularly
successful programs of de-radicalization in some of the Gulf states, which are actually proving to be to break the this prototype of Arab societies that cannot seize the future. I'm not saying they're model democracies, mind you, they're not, but they certainly want to seize modernity and not go back to the savage and early medievalism.
Please tell me how Constantine is making Netanyahu sound more moderate than him.
Exactly.
Yeah, just the idea that, okay, you know, these people.
And not to cut off Crystal, but that's exactly what I was saying when I watched the video and I did my commentary. Constantine asks the question from the right of Netanyahu. How do you put yourself to the right of Netanyahu? He's a freaking war criminal maniac. Like, I can't even fathom it. It's like, it's unbelievable. And he's sitting here trying to play like the good kid on the block all of a sudden.
Early medievalism.
Please tell me how Constantine is making Netanyahu sound more moderate than him. Just the idea that, okay, you know, these people hate you. Yeah, gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because they've been like occupied and being starved and bombed to pieces for, you know, and not even just post October 7th. But also, Sagar, you can speak to this.
Do you think she's read the Quran?
No.
Do you think she understands the history of how Christians and Jews have always been treated in the Muslim world? I mean, Christians and Jews are, by definition, second-class citizens. Doesn't mean they were killed necessarily, whatever. But people of the book, Christians and Jews in Muslim society throughout history, were, by definition, second-class citizens. By definition, looked down.
What are you trying to argue? So is your argument that because these religions have a certain kind of history, and there was a history of violence and crusades and, you know, murder and capture and, you know, horrific things 1,000, 10,000 years ago, that justifies any violence and act that's happening, any immoral thing that's happening right now? What the fuck are you talking
by
about?
definition, having to pay a different tax, use a different, you know, like ride a donkey instead of a horse, all of this other stuff.
You're a fucking donkey, Constantine.
She thinks that many Muslims hate Jews because of Gaza.
Yeah, you twit.
It's somebody, and again, we
Yes, dude. Yes, of course. What the, like, why is that a surprise? Why are you not able to understand that? I don't understand.
It's somebody, and again, we go back to this, who's got no understanding of the Middle East. My family, my grandfather's family, are from Lebanon. They are, if you look at...
My family is from Lebanon, therefore by default, I absorbed all the information and understanding of the deep history of the region. Don't you understand? My family is Lebanese. We know, I understand it.
South America, in particular, Colombia and Venezuela, it has hundreds of thousands of Lebanese, Syrian, and Middle Eastern Christians. Why is that? Did they just go there because they fancied a nice little beach holiday? You know, they liked, you know, dancing along with the maracas. I know that's Mexican, but you get my point. They liked a little bit of samba and a carnival. No, they fled for their lives because they knew what would happen.
Was Israel attacking them?
Might well have been, mate, yeah.
But that's the sort of thing that she probably thinks.
Yeah.
Again, same argument.
She probably thinks the entire Middle East, which was completely Christian, and now isn't, is because of Israel.
Yeah. And it's a complete historical illiteracy. It's a not understanding of the Middle East and its history, which is complicated and tragic and blood-soaked.
The people who are the
These guys trying to be knowledgeable is so painful right now. It's unbelievable.
precursors to Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, right? They joined forces with Hitler before Israel even existed.
Yeah.
Like, what is she talking about?
But you see,
They thought they were gonna. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting so much, but I'm having fun. But these two probably thought they were going to be such geniuses putting this video together. Like nobody, Constantine, nobody's going to fucking expect it. We put this video together. Let's react to them. We got a bunch of hate from that fucking Netanyahu interview. Let's put a fucking video out and react to it and show them how they're fucking clueless and I'm Lebanese and I know and fucking the Crusades, and then we'll show them.
this goes back to what I was talking about, which is being with argument A and argument B. And if you want to be with argument A, let's just call it that's the side that breaking points are on, the anti-war, the stop the war, the whatever else, then what you have to do is you have to be blind to the history and to what has happened.
She's making me appreciate Dave Smith. At least she's read something.
Yeah.
Like, how is she... It's so frustrating because, look, like I said, people are allowed to criticize, they're allowed to have their own opinion. But if you're going to comment on something like this,
at least have a fucking Lebanese
like this.
father-in-law, for Christ.
And you don't know anything. How are you called Crystal Ball and you have no knowledge or insight? How,
Otter, yo. He got her. He got her. Damn.
how did that happen? And by the way, if it sounds like we're slagging them off, right? The moment we saw this video released, we had our team reach out to them and say, I would be very happy to come on and discuss this. They read our email and guess what? No response.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, this is making me angry. Keep watching.
Because you're too much of a
Dr.
fucking twit.
7. But also, Sagar, you can speak to this. How many times throughout history have we seen bitter enemies
I was about to say.
who hate each other? And guess what? When you're able to come up with some sort of a peace deal and have a coexistence, you know, that fades over time. We can see it with our own country. You know, we were bitter enemies, obviously, went to war with Germany and Japan, and now these are some of our closest
Well,
allies.
you can see it inside of our own country.
Okay.
Did you hear what she just Did you hear what she just said?
Yeah.
When you have some sort of peace plan, then you can come together like we did with Germany and Japan.
Okay.
You dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Japan and you flattened Germany.
And arguably, the bombing was worse in Germany.
It was way worse. And now you're presenting that as the way to approach Gaza, where you're criticizing Netanyahu for what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, this has been talked about. I mean, look, it's the World War II comparison is difficult because it was just such different mass scale war and destruction, and it was pre-Geneva Convention. It was pre a lot of sort of, you know, moral awakening in terms of like how warfare is supposed to be conducted. You know, the argument is, shouldn't we know better at this point? I mean, shouldn't we be able to move past that kind of barbarism? Apparently not. You know, a lot of people on the Israel side use that as an example and say, hey, you know, they did this 100 years ago. They dropped nuclear bombs and they wiped out hundreds of thousands of people. So isn't that okay? It's like, you might have to get your head checked if you're using that comparison.
What? I don't think anyone's ever seen me this exasperated. I am not regularly confronted with this level of retardation.
Yeah, I love his faux exasperation. It's really convincing. He's quite a good actor. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now. Jesus Christ. I had to cut it short for reasons and things. But anyway, that was fun. That was interesting. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you appreciate my British accent? And how is it? What more accents would you like me to do in the future? Drop a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future videos.